My friends, this year I read 217 books, and that's so far. I'm probably gonna finish another 5 by the end of the year because I'm filming this on Christmas Day. And 217 books is a fucking lot to talk about, and I have gone into depth about some of my favorites, some of my least favorites. My monthly videos have like my favorites, and then like I do have the worst books I read this year video, and also the best books I read, so I go into depth in those. But I thought about doing like one line for each book to describe how I feel about them, instead of like a really long in-depth about every single one, because also I don't even like review these in like a really long way. Like a lot of the time if something like hits really deep, like I love it so much, I'm like, oh my god, and like that's my review. Same thing with if it's shit, I'm like, ew, like what the fuck was this? So I just felt like it was relevant to me, to who I am, to how I review books, and I wanted to go through them. So let's go through them. First books I read were Dune and Dune Messiah. Both of them, what the fuck? I feel like they could have been squashed into one, but they were still brilliant. The End We Start From by Megan Hunter. Unexpected, but good. That's where I sit with that still to this day. Wild Houses by Colin Barrett. Not my typical read, but a very good, well-written read. The Door-to-Door Bookstore by Carson Henn brought out my inner child. I love this book. A Not So Meet Cute by Megan Quinn. Weird. That's all I have to say. The Grip of It by Jacques Jemk. Shit. It's just shit. I just didn't like it. It wasn't good. True Italian Roots by 𝙃𝙤𝙧𝙗. Yeah. Pretty much. All Down Darkness Wide by Sean Hewitt. Stunning. Similar-ish vibes to Call Me By Your Name. Not quite, but kind of there. Dear Low by Brady Bove. Good. Sex and Rage by Eve Babbitt. Over fucking rated, hated it. I think it was so fucking shit. Every time I see people talk about this book, because it's the only Eve Babbitt I've read. Every time I see someone talk about this book, I get physically angry. I get physically angry because I hated it so much. Papers Don't Lie by Maeve Hazel. No. Moonstruck Kiss. Hallmark. And there's quite a few of those in this list. Love Redesigned by Lauren Asher. Not her best work, but I still love her. Purpose by Gina Bianchini. Yeah, it was good. The Art of Cervical Awakening by Self Cervix, Olivia Nomi Bryant. Very good. And educational, but very short as well. It's basically like a leaflet. Cabin Porn Inside. Yeah, stunning. Not the End of the World by Hannah Ritchie. This was so refreshing and interesting and eye-opening. That's all I can say. Trust Me by Rena Bell. Unexpectedly great. The Final Act of Juliet Willoughby by Ellery Lloyd. I hated People Like Her by Ellery Lloyd. Loved this. This was giving The Secret History. Loved it. Mother Hens by Sophie McCartney. Ew. No, it was pure crap. Sideline Love by Emery Page. Basic. Nothing exciting. Cross the Line by Simone Soltani. I have this book still, but every time I think about it, I like change my mind on it. I think it was overrated. I didn't love it, but it was okay. Like, it wasn't bad. You Can't Spell Treason Without T. Awful. By Rebecca Thorne. Awful book. Conflicting Loyalties by Aidan Gabor. Did not expect this to be a 5-star. It was indeed a 5-star. On Earth We're Briefly Gorgeous by Ocean Vuong. Let's just say the online reviews are very accurate. The Book of Little Life Hacks. Don't waste your money. Just don't waste your money. Just don't. Come to Tower by Ice Balcos. Yeah, good. Sociopath by Patrick Gagney. So up my street. Loved it. Brilliant audiobook. Writers and Lovers by Lily King. Overrated, but still a good book. That's how I put that. Face Off by Mary Loyal. Shit. You know, it wasn't shit, but it was basic. Gennaro's Verdure by Gennaro Contaldo. It's a cookbook, but it was like an actual, like, you read. I promise. It was good. I don't cook very much at all, but it was good. Dear Universe. This was okay. Nothing new. It was alright, I think. Or did I hate this one? Let me double check. No, yeah, I was right. It's another one I'm thinking of. Fighting Fate by Charlie Cotner. Unexpected, but made me cry. Think The Fault in Our Stars. Sobbed. Practice Makes Perfect by Sarah Adams. One of my favorite romance authors. Fucking literally perfect romance book. Cecilia by Kaming Chang. No. I need everyone to stop hyping up these books, please. It's like performative writing at this point. It's like, how gross and disgusting can I be and like call it art? Shit. Radical Self-Care by Rebecca Moore, I believe. Yeah. Shit. I promise you I get to a point where I like most of the books I'm reading. The Color Theory. The Complete Color Harmony Pantone Edition by Leatrice Eisman. So fucking basic. It was so shit. I was like, I love art books, and it was just like a fucking kindergarten ass book. We don't say kindergarten in the UK, but anyways. Funny you should ask. I saw mixed reviews about this, but I actually liked it. So do with that what you will. Psychology of Money, very good. Next of Kin by Hannah Bonham Young. I have beef with this fucking book because I enjoyed it so much, but the ending, like the epilogue, I want to erase from my memory, and it was so fucking like such a stupid ending, even though it was a happy ending. So I just have complete and utter fucking beef with this fucking book. Okay, thank you. Rich Dad Poor Dad, very good. So hard to get my hands on that book. I don't know why. Sometimes you just need a pep talk. Very good. Stillborn by Guadalupe Nettle. Heartbreaking book. Insanely beautiful though. Heart of a Dog by Mikhail Bulgakov. Loved it. I love weird books. I love actually weird books. This is a weird book. Talking about piss and shit isn't like Kaming Chang. It's not weird, it's just gross, especially when it's literally the point of the fucking book. I love weird books. I love when a dog can talk, but like it's not cheesy. It's like written so like stunningly, like a classic. I love this book. The Visibility Trap, boring for most, but since I work in the digital space, this was rather interesting. The Dixon Rule by Al Kennedy, yeah, it was alright. It was alright. It wasn't one of my favorite romances, but it was alright. It wasn't bad. On the Line by Joseph Pontus. I have complete and utter fucking beef with the person who narrated this, and if it's the author, I even have more beef, because the way it was narrated was so annoying. I listened to the audiobook for this and I just fucking wanted to rip my ability to hear out of my ears. I hated the audiobook. The writing in itself was okay. It was okay. Not special. Boarded Heart by Ruth Stilling again. Did not love it. It was meh. Tuesdays with Maury by Mitch Albom. I love this one. This is so me. But I'm gonna prepare you when I say this. He's one of my most read authors this year. And the rest was shit. The Paradise Problem by Christina Lauren. It was okay. That's as far as it kind of goes. It was alright. Inquiring Minds Want to Grow by Donna Carlin. Interesting. Not brilliant, but interesting. $100 Million Offers by Alex Hormozy. Again, I listened to the audiobook for this, and it was narrated, I believe, by the author. This was the most interesting out of like that section of books that I read. The Little Book of Kennedy. Enough said, right? Winter in Sokcho. I loved this. This is weird writing. I can deal with this. I loved this. This had a point. It went somewhere, but it was still like beautiful and artistic and literature. I loved it. It was beautiful. It was great. Work Without the Worker by Phil Jones. Interesting. Very accurate. I think most people should read this. Unspeakable Shaking Pleasures by Lucy Debussy. This is a weird book. You want weird? This is a weird book. It's a weird book. Okay? It talks about gross shit, like bestiality and shit, but the entire point is like women going wild with eroticism and the concept of that. And, like, not the bestiality side of things, but like everything else. Loved. It was perfect. I loved this book. One of my 5 stars. Loved it. Bad Girls of Ancient Greece by Lizzie Tiffin. The concept of this I like. I hate most Greek mythology, cultural books written by fucking Karen down the road. It's like, as a Greek woman, it's so frustrating because they always get several things wrong. So what annoyed me in this book, whilst this book was actually not one of the worst at all, what annoyed me was there was misspellings of how to say the names. So I think what she was trying to do is try to make it readable for people as if you were saying it in an English way, but they're Greek names and you can say Greek names in English. You don't have to spell them in Greek, you just say them in Greek with an accent. I mean, in English with your accent. So for me, there were misspellings. There was some where I was like, hold on, is this right? And then others where I was like, wait, this person's like so wrong in how you say these things. Like the mispronunciation was insane. But the concept of this book I did love, and I appreciate this because it wasn't attempting to redo part of our culture. Secret Voices by Sarah Griswold. I speak about this book all the time. I loved it. It was insane. It was fucking brilliant. It is a year in women's diary entries of famous women from like 1800 to present time. Insane. It was beautiful. The Law of Attraction Made Easy. This can eat my fucking ass. It's fucking bollocks, bullshit ass book. Okay, are we clear? Bullshit. Had to make sure I was very clear on that. Before and After by Andrew Shanahan. Andrew is a friend of mine. I loved this book. It was great. It was awesome. Not something I usually read, but it was awesome. Uncharted Desires. Shit. One of the shittiest books I've read this year, and shittiest romances in general. The Kiss Quotient by Helen Huang. I'm late to this, but I loved it. It was really good. Youth Juice by 𝙃𝙚𝙧𝙖𝙀𝙧. I hated it. No Longer Human by Osamu Dazai. Very similar to On the Line by Joseph Pontus. Like, the fucking narration was so annoying, and that made me not like it, but the writing in itself, just, it wasn't bad. Hera by Jennifer Saint. Let's see what I said about this one. Oh, this one wasn't that bad according to me. This was good. This is my literal review. I don't like write reviews really, but I will for Greek retellings. This was good, but I really wish Saint had gone deeper into the emotions of Hera. It read almost factual. It's fiction. Give me fiction. That last chapter was touching, and the first time I felt actual emotion written in the book. Had it been fully like that, I think this would have been incredible. So it was a good book, but it was missing something. But it also wasn't the worst retelling, because I've read it a lot. Everything You Ever Wanted by Louisa Salma. This was good. Not my kind of thing. I also ended up reading a couple books like this, but not my thing. Knife by Salman Rushdie. This guy can rush and die because, oh my god, the Zionist this man is. And it's no irony because it's literally a memoir about how someone tried to kill him, but you know, that's what you get when you're a Zionist. Penance of the Byronic Hero by Paula McKenna. Paula is one of my friends. She's amazing. Please go and support her. I, again, not the biggest fan of poetry. I loved this. This was brilliant. It was so good. She's so talented. One of my favorite writers that I know personally, and just, yeah, so worth it. Not in Love by Ali Hazelwood. I believe this is the one where I liked it, but it was like mostly smut, and I was just like, give me more. I love smut, but I also love wholesome rom-coms. So this was like out of balance for me, but it wasn't bad either. Little Words by Jenny Slate. That's my bitch. That is my woman. I have a Jenny Slate tattoo. That is my woman. Moving Pictures by Dahl Larson. Very good, but I wish it touched more on recent movies. Midnight Pleasure by Claudia Ciardotti. Hated it. Teach Me to Please by Nira Stone. I bought this by accident. I thought it was another book. I was wrong. Burn it. We Don't Know What We're Doing by Thomas Morris. This was very overrated. I did not like this at all. The 12-Hour Film Expert. Again, very similar to Moving Pictures. Business Casual, very cute, by B.K. Borison. Yeah, very cute. Some Like It Cold by Al McNichol. I don't really read much YA anymore. I wouldn't say I enjoy it, but I would say that this was decent. I just had moments of, it was so like surface level and just didn't quite hit the mark for me. For the Record by Juliana Smith. Not her best work, but we will get to her best work at the end. Mitch Albom's The 5 People You Meet in Heaven. This was also quite good. I'll say that. Paloma Faith's MILF. If you have ovaries, you just need to. And even if you don't want kids, you just need to read it. It's insane. It's a stunning book. Twisted Cage by Beck Knight. Nah. $1 Billion Mistake by Sharon Woods. Meh. Sugar Baby by Celine St. Clair. Awful. She Fights Back by Joanna Ziobronowicz. Yeah, I said that right. Yeah, it was good. I actually really like this because I have several belts in martial arts, in jiu-jitsu to be specific, and it was about martial arts and like protecting yourself as a woman. A non-fic, so I really enjoyed this. Mr. Almost by Carla Riley. No. The Alchemist by Paulo Coelho. Overrated. It was good, but it was overrated. How Can I Help You by Laura Sims. Insane. Brilliant book. Insane. Invisible Loss by Christina Rasmussen. A non-fic self-help about PTSD. If you have PTSD, pick this book up. It's the best book I've ever read on PTSD. It's brilliant. Cul-de-sac Rabbits by Jax Bulstrode. Very good. The Goodbye Process by Mary Jones. Meh. Blue Hour by Tiffany Clark Harrison, so powerful, stunning book. Dead Weight by Emmeline Klein, again non-fic. This is more about eating disorders and things like that. If you're into that kind of thing, it's a very good book. Before We Forget Kindness, my favorite series. I love this book, so I'm always going to recommend this entire series. Potions and Proposals by Kate Callahan. This was a really lovely, sweet romantasy that was very soft and easy to read, but still had great fantasy aspects, so I loved this. Key Lime Sky by Al Hess. I didn't know what was going on the entire time, and yet still I came out of it like changed, so take that with what you will. New English Interiors. It was okay, kind of boring. I Hate Rock Stars by Mia McCoy. It was okay. It had bits that I actually really liked, so definitely not the worst. My Kind of Trouble by L.A. Schwartz. Forgettable, unfortunately. He Who Drowned the World by Shelley Parker Chan. Also forgettable. The French Art of Not Trying Too Hard. I know my review for this literally says should be called The Greek Art of Not Trying Too Hard, because this man literally references, he's French, literally references more Greek people than French people in this entire thing. So again, take that. I don't think I'm saying that phrase right. I'm very tired. But anyways, Please Let Me Destroy You was an ass book, which was literally just a male fantasy in a book. Fucking hated it. Ladies of the Rachmaninoff Eyes by Henry Van Dyke. Chef Kiss. Insane book. Loved it. From Individual to Empire. Again, if you are in the space that I'm in the digital world, in the public relations world, very interesting book to read. Mornings with My Cat Me. Don't even get me started. I've read this in one go and I also cried, so let's not even talk about it. Albert Camus, The Myth of Sisyphus, my first Camus, and it won't be my last. I loved it. What Is Mine by Jose, if it will come up, Jose Henrique Bortolucci. Very good book. Every Poem a Potion, Every Song a Spell. Love the title. Not so great inside, but it wasn't awful. Thinly Veiled by Eliza Modiste. Okay. Birds on a Carousel by Nathaniel Koa. Great. Wait for it though. High Infidelity by Pelincula was awful. Bookshops and Bone Dust by Travis Baldry. Travis Baldry and me, we have beef. Give me my sequel. I don't give a fuck about the prequel. Give me my sequel. Thank you. Initials Only by Linz Vonk, and it was okay. I related to it. Let's say that. Gaius Is by Nathaniel Koa was one of the most stunning books I've ever read. Nathaniel is an insane writer, just beautiful, stunning, insane writer. The Worlds of Wes Anderson by Adam Woodward. Great. I love anything to do with Wes Anderson. When in Rome by Sarah Adams. This was good, but I did prefer Practice Makes Perfect. A Good Rush of Blood by Matt Phillips was shit. Bibliotherapy was also not good. Loud by Drew Fuller was okay. Yeonnom Dong's Smiley Laundromat by Kim Ji-young was disappointing. Since We're Here was by Chrissy Hopewell was surprisingly very good. The Fifth Agreement by Miguel Ruiz. Yeah, it was good. The Timekeeper by Mitch Albom, not one of his best. A Dark and Drowning Tide, so overrated. I did not like this at all. This Fatal Kiss by Alicia Jasinska, one of my favorites of the year. I loved this book. It was beautiful. Maglue by Tesha Moshfegh. I will forever be an Tesha Moshfegh hater to my core. Thank you. When Haru Was Here, not his best work. The Island of Missing Trees. There's an irony to this being written by a Turkish woman, because we were occupied, like in Cyprus, by the Turks, and so there's gonna be Greek people who are not happy about this being written, because it's about Greek people and it's a beautiful book. But just to give some cultural context there, so people are There's mixed feelings from Greek people. People who have no idea of that context love this book. I really enjoyed this book. I think it was great. And a lot of Turkish people actually are just Greek because they were born in Cyprus during the occupation and things like that. So, but yeah, it was, I think it was beautiful, and I really appreciate genuine culture being shown in a book of mine. The Rebound Play by Kate O'Keefe, no. Bad Habit by Alana S. Portero, very powerful. Being, Belonging, Becoming, meh. Cosmic Self-Care, good. I gave my mum that for Christmas. I think she's gonna love it. The Confidence Workbook by The School of Life was okay. The Bella Vista by Emma Ruth Rundle was okay. The Harm We Do Ourselves by Gina Curry. This was actually very good. It was interesting. I wish it had gone more into depth. No Credit River by Zoe Whittle. Haha, I love this book. This is one of my favorite. This is the top 5 books of the year. The Vegas Nerve Reset. Again, this is by Anna Ferguson. If you have PTSD, this is the second book I would recommend you. It was really good. Unwritten by Emily Crookston. Good. Love and the Downfall of Society by Melinda Kopp, one of my top 5 books of the year. I absolutely loved this book. Temporary Beauty by Catherine Coleman, good. About Last Night by Christy McKellen, awful. I wanted to fucking punch the guy in this. Coffee Break with the Billionaire, meh. The Destiny Book by Helena Lind, this I really liked. I don't want to go too in depth because I could go on a whole tangent about being spiritual in a sense and then more so agnostic, because I think this perfectly kind of covers that, as well as another book that I read later on. Over Time by Mary Loyal, my second Mary Loyal and my favorite. This was really good, a step up from her last book. Let Me In by Mario Testino, meh. All About Love by Bell Hooks, ugh, stunning, and I knew it would be, but I loved it. My second Chrissy Hopewell, 100 Lights, Christmassy vibes, but shit story, unfortunately. Hamnet unexpectedly broke my heart. Portraits by Steve McCurry, very good. This Is How You Lose the Time Warp by Amal El Mohtar. I liked this, I think it was overrated, but I still think it was very good. The Bookshop at the Cornish Cove by Kim Nash, overrated. Dear Love by Sarah Barber, my favourite photographer, I love it, it's brilliant. Toxic Striving by Paula Friedman Diamond, it was good, I think, from what I remember. I read another book called Toxic something and I can't remember which one, but one of them was a bit lackluster, but it was good. The Art of Memory Collecting by Martina Calvi, one of my favourite people on Instagram. It was really, really cute. It's behind me. I loved it. Kate Bush's Hounds of Love by Leah Cardos. I love Miss Kate Bush, so this was brilliant. Sinead O'Connor by Melville House. Such an interesting angle, because it was like she represented herself so truly that she came across as like likable and lovable at the same time as being dislikable, which is kind of crazy and accurate, because I think we all are. And yeah, I think it was really good. Not in My Book by Katie Holt, new favorite romance author, top 5 of my book this year. Beautiful book, beautiful romance. Make Me Stay by Cass Skotka, nah. Coffee and Curveballs by Mika Sisi was awful. When You Return by Havilah Maklat, bad. Make Me Fall by Cass Skotka, meh. Who Loves You Best by Marilyn Simon Rothstein, not a single likable character in this entire fucking book. Constellation by Elvira Blanco. This is a collection of short stories, so there were some that I loved and some where I was like, this is meh. Attached by Amir Levine. I buddy read this with my granddad. I loved this. He read his in Greek and I read mine in English. Yeah, it was really good. I recommend it for everybody. Hardly Strangers by A.C. Robinson. I feel like this is going to be unpopular, but I love this. I know it won't be for everyone though. Britcha and the Beach Boy by Brittany Larson. It was okay. It was better than I thought it would be, but it also wasn't like my favourite. Astrid Parker Doesn't Fall. So meh. Finding Love in Ivy Falls, also very meh. The Instrumentalist by Harriet Constable was an unexpected, brilliant book. Thunderhead was a complete letdown. A Life's Work by Rachel Cusk was great. Self-Care by Lee Stein was just blech. Snowed In With You by Heidi Stevens was okay. It was a cute like winter read, but it wasn't amazing. Spike by Spike Lee is brilliant. Toxic Productivity was good. Collide and Spiral by Bal Cabra were insane. Great romances. I think both were in my top 5. No, one was in my top 5. I can't remember, I think so. Of the year. Intellectual Will was shit. The Hearing Test by Eliza Barry. Hello. Eliza Barry Callahan was good. Wasn't amazing, but it was good. I Knew You Were Trouble by Emma Ray. Meh. I didn't like the characters very much. Tripping for Number 68 was good. Where I See You by Catherine Conmee was really good, unexpected, thoroughly enjoyed it, really good. The Complete Poems of Sappho, great. Of course I'm going to say they're great, they're great. The Accidentals by Guadalupe Nettle, also great, but I did prefer Stillborn by Guadalupe Nettle. Small Rain by Garth Greenwell. As someone who is chronically ill and has spent a good chunk of my life in hospital, this was brilliant. Bittersweet by Lottie Bowser made me cry. Do not pick this up if you are not ready to cry. Seventh Heaven by Patti Smith and War Gathering by Patti Smith, both brilliant. Patti Smith is my #1 favourite author. Every time I find the meaning of life they change it. This was insane. It was so good. Monet by Instinctive Editorial was great. Sylvia Plath's selected poems were good. The Crying Book by Heather Crystal. This was good. I think it could have been a bit better, but I think it was good. People from My Neighborhood by Hiromi Kawakami. Good, but wanted a bit more from it, but it was good. Anae Nin's A Spy in the House of Love. This was really good. This was also my first Anae Nin, so it was a great introductory kind of read, I think. The Autumn of Ruth Winters, meh. Just fully meh. Something to Talk About by Megan Vernon, no. 1000-Year-Old Vampire by Tim Hutchings, I loved it. The Art of Cézanne by Nathaniel Harris, great. Monet by Claude Monet, brilliant. Jenny Slate's Life Form, again, as I mentioned earlier, Jenny Slate is my woman. That's the love of my life. I loved it. Green Dot by Madeline Gray, unexpectedly loved this. I think the way it was written was stunning, and I just feel it was such an emotional read, so you have to prepare if you do go into reading this. Better Than Before by Lynn Painter, yeah, it was good. It was a short like clip, like I don't know, it's like a novella. It's really short, so I didn't really get a sense of much, but it was good, from what I could tell at least. I Who Have Never Known Man was beautiful. It was stunning. It was so good. If you want to see in-depth reading, like in-depth reviews of some of these books, because we're in December now, of my books that I've read, they will be in my other video from this week. The Apprenticeship or The Book of Pleasures was just stunning. Romance or the End by Ellen Kahn was okay. Autopsy by Avon Jogier was good. The Do-Over was awful, like one of the worst books I've read this year. Outline by Rachel Cusk, also very good, loved it. The Tanglewood Bookshop, so meh. Snowed Under by Juliana Smith, I told you we'd come back to it. I loved it. This was amazing. Such a lovely, like Christmassy, like wintry rom-com read. Instructions for Heartbreak, this was good, but I almost wanted a bit more from it. It was still good, but yeah. Deborah Levi, Real Estate, this was so good. Very similar in my opinion to Outline by Rachel Cusk, and there are some of the authors I love to dabble between, so that's really good. Still the One by Amy Brown, meh. no. The Unshaming Way by David Bedrick, good. A little bit essay-ish, which I don't like, but good. The Gentleman from Peru by Andre Ackerman broke me, okay. And Never Was by 𝙃𝙬𝙧𝙀. This, I understood the concept and I just couldn't, I just didn't like it. I just didn't like it. But finally, Fairy Tales by Petra Collins and 𝙃𝙬𝙧𝙀, and I got that today for Christmas. I loved it. Like I said at the beginning, I have several books that I want to read by the end of essentially this week. And yeah, I'm really excited to do that because hopefully there's some really good ones that I have had lined up for a little while. But those were all the books that I read this year. How many books did you read this year? What were your favorites? Let's have a chat. Love you guys. See you next time.